God bless America! Yesterday, to celebrate 250 years of freedom, I went and saw Young Washington, which is a new Angel Studios movie about, George Washington. It shows his life as a young British Army commander, and shows his rise to the rank of colonel, and this is like 20-some years before the Revolution. Once again, there are going to be timestamps in the description so you can skip around. I'm going to do a spoiler-free review first, then a very heavily spoiler review, and yeah, you can skip around at your pleasure. This is going to be a bit of a shorter video though, but without further ado, let us begin. So I'm going to start by saying that I have a very high standard for movies. I mean, I'm still waiting for the next Schindler's List. So I'm going to get that out of the way first, so do not castrate me when I say this. The movie was alright. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't terrible, but I do have some complaints. First off, the dialogue at certain parts felt a little on the nose and explanatory. Like, there's one line that keeps getting repeated: even a pawn can take a king, and like 3 different people say it. It felt like they were trying a little too hard. I will say, for an Angel movie, it was kind of brutal. I mean, you see the Indians stab the hell out of people. It's not graphic, but I was kind of surprised. And the acting was good enough. It wasn't like I was watching Tommy Wiseau.
Not hit her. It's not true. It's bull. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Also, there were a few actors sprinkled in that I was not expecting. We got Kelsey Grammer, Ben Kingsley, and freaking Andy Serkis. They were the big names tied to this, but I do think William Franklin Miller has potential, especially because I do think this movie is going to do well. Also, I kept laughing to myself because one of the actors kind of looked like Kane Parsons, and I just found that kind of funny. All in all, the action sequences were pretty good too. The battle at the end, while not on the same level of Saving Private Ryan, worked well as a Revolutionary time battle. I mean, I wasn't hanging on the edge of my seat, but it looked like a legit battle. I do think it's kind of bullshit that all of the bullets missed Washington, but it's fine. Whatever. Also, they have George Washington hack at trees whenever he's upset. Whoever came up with that is a genius, and they just... And I gotta say, seeing George fight so desperately for something he believed in is enough to make a grown man cry. The whole movie is just chock full of what it means to be an American. USA! 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 All in all, I think the movie served its purpose of pumping up Americans, and it's a great way to celebrate 250 years. So if you've been wanting to see it, I'd say go ahead. If you haven't been wanting to see it, well, I can't force you, so do whatever you want. Alright, spoiler time. Get ready. I'll start off by saying I like how they opened the movie. They did something kind of similar to something I've been trying to do with one of my scripts, which is a secret you don't get to know about yet. It opens up with George sleeping, only to be woken up by the sound of cannons and guns. So you're immediately thrown into the action of it all. He's running around, people are getting blown up, the Indians are going ham. Then it does this little bit where it shows George as a kid and explains why he wants to join the British Army, and When he grows up, George takes a partner out into the wilderness to scout out an area they think the French are squatting in. This is one thing I had a small issue with. There's a scene where they row down a river and get caught in a little whirlpool. They fall in and it just cuts to them freezing on the shore. I feel like they could have done a little bit more with this. The movie also shows us a little bit of romantic tension between George and this rich woman. I do not remember her name for the life of me. I'm not entirely sure why they included it. It doesn't really go anywhere. If nothing else, it's just to add tension and drama. Anyway, George leads his troops to where the French are squatting, and they have their little negotiation. Ooh, there's tension because the leader of the French can understand what the Indians are saying. Right after that, though, is when the movie really picks up and it hits like an arrow to the back. George and his crew go to figure out their positioning, and then someone shoots a French officer. This is where the first major fight of the movie happens, and the flintlocks go off, the Indians start scalping people, and the French leader gets axed in the face like 6 times. Again, not gratuitous, but still like, holy shit. British Army gets pissed. French Army gets pissed. George does something stupid. He tries to make a base in a dried out riverbed, which is surrounded by woodlands. When Georgie gets promoted to colonel, the French attack, ending with several dead. The fight comes out of nowhere, and you get no breathing room. Though the British did kind of handle it like idiots. Some of them just stood there ready to get shot. But the action, once again, well done, Angel. Well done. George gets sad because his friends died. He quits and does a little more tree cutting. Then his mom says the pawns can take King's line again, and he's just like,
Okay.
I do think they could have made this bit a little longer, added more to his solemnness and regret. I kind of felt like they rushed past it. If this had been lengthened a little bit and some of the early romance shortened, I think it would have made it better. Anyway, George goes back to help the British navigate the woodlands, and then he gets dysentery and dies. Okay, he doesn't die. Obviously. But this is where we link back to the beginning of the movie. George starts running around looking for his men, shooting French people. Hell yeah. And he finally finds his wounded general. George is able to lead those left to hold the line, and they actually push the French back. Then he rushes out to the riverbed, saves some of his other men, and dodges a bullet to the head. He also rides on the side of a horse to avoid getting shot at. It's ridiculous, but I've seen worse.
Not hit her. It's not true.
George and the British win, and his legacy goes on. So, yes, I do have a few problems with it. The dialogue is a little bit iffy. Some of the acting needs a little work. But all in all, I'd probably give it like a 6.5 or a 7 out of 10. I mean, if you've been wanting to watch it, absolutely go ahead and see it. It's a great way to celebrate 250 years of America. Freedom, motherfucker.